The time has come to address a question that circles every corner of Western hypocrisy. A question that pretends to be about morality, but in reality only exposes the illusion. A question framed as critique, but built on denial. One man raised it, but it speaks for millions. He asked, "Can women be bought in slave markets in Islam to serve as concubines, then sold again after use?" This isn't a question. This is a trap of distortion, a projection, a performance by those who stand knee-deep in filth while pretending to instruct others on cleanliness. It is a mirror turned outward by people terrified of turning it inward. For this question does not reflect Islam. It reflects the delusion of those who ask it. They speak as though the West abolished slavery. No, they deregulated it. They did not destroy the structure. They dismantled the responsibility and monetized the exploitation. They did not end concubinage. They turned it into prostitution and called it freedom. What is 15 months of care, provision, and dignity in Islam compared to 15 minutes of degradation on a street corner in Paris, Hamburg, or Washington? What is a legislated relationship with legal protections in Islam compared to an endless cycle of abuse, addiction, and abandonment sold by the hour to men who will never even remember her name? The West has turned its poorest women into short-term disposable, deregulated concubines, not out of necessity, not out of war, but out of profit. A multi-billion-dollar machine runs on their broken bodies. And yet the same society that forces women into this suffering has the audacity to lecture the world on morality. And when these women cry out, it is not morality that answers, it is silence. 90% of them want out, and no one listens. Many are not free. They are forced, abducted, trafficked, trapped. And the #1 destination for sex trafficking in the world? The United States of America. Second, Europe. Where is the respect? Where is the care? Where is the dignity? Not in brothels, not in street corners. Not in the endless reports of NATO and UN peacekeepers trading food for sex, medicine for rape, power for silence. From Kosovo to the DRC, from Chad to Bosnia, from Ukrainian women to African children, the crimes are consistent, the prosecution non-existent. There are no homes, no safety, no laws to protect these women. Only profit margins and public indifference. Serial killers hunt these women because no one cares when they die. They vanish from the world as nameless Jane does after thousands have used them, discarded them, forgotten them, disposable, invisible. Meanwhile, in Islam, a concubine was not an object. She had status, security. Sons of concubines became rulers. Daughters of concubines became scholars. She was not for profit, she was a person. And even in her most vulnerable state, Islam gave her rights that the modern West still refuses to offer to its so-called liberated women. They brandish the past of Islam like a sword, hoping to cut through truth. But the blade turns on them. For what is their present, if not an empire of exploitation? What are their freedoms, if not currency bought and sold in the flesh of the powerless? Behind polished slogans and moral facades lies a machine fed by misery. Let the world remember, it was not Islam that built industries on broken women. It was them, and their darkness is not past. It is now. Islam is not critiqued from knowledge in the West, but from ignorance. An ignorance sharpened by arrogance, concealed beneath the illusion of moral superiority. The critique stands on a foundation of double standards, blind to its own reflection. Behind the flags of NATO, the United Nations, and humanitarian campaigns come patterns too familiar to ignore. Manipulation framed as diplomacy, occupation disguised as peacekeeping, corruption institutionalized in the name of stability. In the aftermath, the remains speak louder than rhetoric. Disfigured nations, collapsed systems, and women discarded in the silence. The West does not understand the East, but the East understands the West with devastating clarity. Like James Baldwin once said, "Those who clean your homes see you more clearly than you ever saw them. You never saw us, but we saw everything, and we remember." So, before Islamic history is ever attempted to be rewritten, let this be known. Muslims did not learn Islam from critics, outsiders, or those who hated it. They learned it through Islamic scholars, divine laws, timeless mercy, and unshakable truth. And as for the Western world, Muslims did not come to know it through the voices of its enemies, but through the people of the West themselves. Through their actions, their choices, their way of life, and the reality they revealed about themselves. From the West came lessons never spoken aloud, but etched in action, written in ruin and sealed in silence. And though they never intended to teach, what they revealed will never be forgotten.